Breaking news this morning out of Afghanistan. Sources say the U.S. Is now completely pulling out all U.S. personnel from the U.S. Embassy in Kabul over the next 72 hours. That is different from what we heard on Thursday from the president, who said some personnel would be pulled out.
We heard from Afghanistan's defense minister, again urging people to not panic, saying that the city of Kabul is still very much under control, that defenses are strong, and that negotiations are ongoing to come to a peaceful conclusion.
Helicopters and airplanes circled over Kabul, shuttling between the embassy, where sensitive documents were burned, and the airport as the Taliban closed in. They broke into Kabul's main jail, freed thousands of prisoners, and instantly added them to their ranks.
Ultimately, it's up to the Afghans themselves. It's up to the Afghan government. It's up to the Taliban to decide the way forward for the country.
Earlier today, the president of Afghanistan fled the country, saying he chose to avoid bloodshed.
Now conceding the Taliban's advances have been far faster than even he forecasted in June.
I don't think it's going to be something that happens from a Friday to a Monday.
President Biden guaranteed last month there would be no airlifts from the embassy in Kabul, saying it was not at all analogous to the messy exit from Vietnam 4 decades ago. Still, helicopters continuously evacuated Americans and our Afghan allies to the airport throughout the day.
The Kabul airport is the only safe way out of Afghanistan, and today there was nearly a run on it.
Just 5 weeks ago, this was President Biden, adamant that what we witnessed today wouldn't happen.
The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
Today, the flag removed, the doors shuttered, the U.S. ambassador and all operations transferred to the airport for safety.
Just 1,200 Afghans who work for the United States as interpreters or in other jobs have been evacuated to the United States. Roughly 88,000, including family members, could need to be evacuated, according to a nonprofit advocacy group.
We have a sacred moral obligation to help those who have helped us, and we're not walking away from that.
Smoke rising over the U.S. Embassy, Chinook helicopters taking off, evacuating U.S. personnel from the country, and eerily reminiscent of the fall of Saigon.
Just last month, President Biden promised
there's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy.
The embassy shuttered, the flag coming down. Secretary of State Blinken declaring to ABC's Jonathan Karl.
This is manifestly not Saigon.
President Biden sending more troops, a total of 6,000 now, to speed up the emergency evacuation of embassy staff.
The idea that President Biden ordered 2,500 service members out and now is sending up to 5,000 service members back in, does that not on its face show that the exit was ineptly planned?
Are there any plans for President Biden to address the nation?
Not currently, at least not tonight.
President Biden at Camp David this weekend, receiving a lot of criticism and backlash for the way this crisis is unfolding. Is there any expectation that he might return to Washington ahead of schedule?
Lindsay, as of right now, no plans for the president to return back to Washington early.
For now, the president remains at Camp David, where he has been largely out of view since Friday.